Well, the goal this week is to get this 30-pound Kerrihard operable. I have to take these wheels off here that actually drive it because there is a roller bearing washer that goes in behind. I did get them cleaned up pretty nicely. It's just a roller bearing center. Runs up against these two outside races. I'm assuming just a little bit of grease on there is going to help these function. If we actually need to maybe pack this more like a Timken bearing would be or not. I could do that as well, I suppose. This is going to run pretty non-stop, so being well greased is a plus. See how that works. Then this actuating arm runs on these diagonal here. And when you press that, it's going to engage that flywheel that engages the whole machine. So I don't know if this was initially an oil hole, but there's a grease fitting on there now. But this can be greased. So there was an old set screw here, but it was right where that brake was and they welded it shut, so I drilled and tapped that. I guess it has a little 1/4 inch keyway there. Well, this appears to be just steel on steel. Seems like that could be a little noisy. If that's how it's designed, we'll give her a try there. So I do have the hammer and the anvil put back in, but these arms here are pointing down and they should be parallel. I've even seen some say that they could be slightly up, but I would like to get them straight across. So I need to elevate this somehow, get this up. So I can take the tension off of these and adjust these arms, which is adjusting the tension on this spring. So we're loose there. Now remember, these nuts are recessed up inside these castings. So should be able to just tighten these up. Not how far we go quite yet. When I took this apart, these nuts were clear up at the end of the threads. Give that a try and see what we get. Well, they're really close. They're just a little bit down yet. I think I could go up a little tighter. And maybe I'll try, that was 2 revolutions. I'll do do 2 revolutions more on both sides. May not get 2 on this side. I only get 1. Now let's see what we've got. Well, there we are, slightly uphill, which that's not bad. I might take this one down 1 revolution. I think we're a little further in on the threads than we are on this side. I'll try that. Give it a little rotation and see what we have. I think we're pretty close there. We're pretty level. These nuts lock that into place. And I think once I get the motor on, I'll play with this a little bit and see how it kind of frees up. If I have to adjust it, it's not tough to do. And we need our foot control. I don't think this was original. It's somebody's angle iron adaptation here. But it looks like it must have worked. Well, now I need a power source. And since I'm a pack rat, I went to looking through my piles and I have this 3/4 horse motor. It's an RPM of 17 1/4. So I'm going to see if I can make this work. I've seen pictures of some others that use these 2 bolts to mount a plate. And a lot of those have their motors run in this direction. But I need to align this shaft, which I have to make a pulley for, to this drive pulley up on top. So it needs to be offset just a little bit. So it's kind of wanting to interfere with this rod here. So instead of coming further out to avoid that, I'm thinking maybe I might go this direction. Then I can sidestep that, get this to line up, and still clear this shaft here. So I think I'm going to come out and then do a 90-degree up. And it'll actually allow me a little more room to tension a belt, whatever I make for that direction, more this direction than if I go this way. So I need something that is, roughly 6 inches by 6 inches, and then I'm going to come up, and I think I need to have about 8 inches this direction. I'm at 6.5. If I had 8, these slots will give me an inch adjustment. So if I come out 6 and then go up by 8, 6 inches wide, I think I can mount my motor about like so. Well, looking through my iron piles, I have these two options here. This is 12 inches wide and a couple feet long, and it's about 3/16 plate. And I could cut my 6 by 14, 15, whatever I want to do out of this. But I also looked in my other new iron pile, and I have this piece of 1/4 inch, and it's 5 inches wide. Well, this will actually be a little thicker and a little sturdier. 5 inches of work coming out off of the throat of that hammer, and I think I can just tack another 1 inch wide along the side to give me my 6 for my vertical to be able to offset that motor enough. So this is kind of one of those things that I think I'm going to go this direction just because of the iron that I have on hand, and I think maybe this will be just a little sturdier as well. So while my bracket is drying, I want to double check my math. I have a 1725 RPM motor, and this hammer wants to run at 250. So if I divide 725 by 250, I get just about 7 to 1. I have an 11-inch drive pulley on that hammer, and so if I divided that by 7, I would come down to 1.5 inches. So I need an 1.5 inch drive pulley on the motor, and it should reduce that 725 down to 250, I think. So I have a 5/8 shaft on my motor, and I did round up 2 pulleys with a 5/8 bore. These are 2.5 inch OD, but inside ID is an 1.5 inches. Well, these are overall 2.5 inches, but I only have maybe 1.75 inches, 2 if I really push it, shaft on this motor. So I need to take an end off of this, and then I'm kind of debating, do I try to run 2 V-belts, or should I take these flares off and run a flat belt? If I ran a flat belt, I could only get 1 inch between these two. I think 2 V-belts would have more grip than a single flat belt because of the dynamics of a V-belt. It pulls on the edges more than it does on the center. I might try that first. If that doesn't work, I can take these shoulders off and then just make a flat belt pulley out of that. And I might move this set screw into the center of that. Well, is it going to work? I'm taking bets. Place your wagers. I'm going to guess that my 3/4 horse isn't big enough. I have a 3 horse on my little giant 50. So I don't know. I had this one because it was a 110 motor and that's what I wanted. I have a 1.5 horse that is a 220, but I didn't want to go 220. So I don't know what's going to happen. I haven't wired a switch into it yet. I have a drop cord brought over that I can just plug it in and see what it does. Don't know till you know. It does have kind of a grinding sound there, doesn't it? See if I engage it, what happens. Don't have enough friction here. It wants to just slip. You know, when I took this apart, there was some tape that was wrapped right around here. And now I see maybe that's why it was there. It is pretty smooth and there isn't enough grip there to make it rotate. I do have some Gorilla tape. Maybe I'll try to stick that on there and see if that helps give it something to grab a hold of. Black would be preferred, but all I have is white. We'll see if that helps give it some traction. I think maybe what was on there before was that friction tape that electricians use. That might be the best. my weak link is my motor. My 3/4 horse just isn't big enough. I might try a 1.5 horses that I have. I could go to 2 horse. Plan B anyway. It works, but not like it should. So I swapped out that 3/4 for this 1.5 horses. Thankfully the mounting holes were the same, so it was a quick change. Still had a 5/8 arbor. So my pulley still worked. We'll see if that helps. I still don't have a switch wired into it, so I just have to plug it in direct. Still hear some squeaking. Not sure if it's the belt or somewhere else. I think we're a big step in the right direction with that 1.5 horses. I bought 2 belts at the same time so that they would be tensioned the same. I could maybe increase that a little bit, I don't know. But maybe some friction tape on here would be better than my duct tape. I think that's where the squeal's coming from. But I think we're pretty close to where I think this will work. Appreciate you coming along. Thanks for watching.